Hello, this is the commentary for Field in England, and my name is Ben Wheatley. I directed this film.
I'm Andy Stark, one of the producers.
And I'm Martin Pavey, the sound designer.
There we go. Black and white, controversial, straight in there with the logos. This logo, the Rook Films logo, first time anyone's seen this, is designed by Cyriac Harris, famous of the internets. So, they're all looking at me like rabbits in the headlights.
Yeah.
You've never done one of these before?
No.
No, you can tell.
So I managed to twist Andy's arm into doing it, and Claire Jones, the other producer, is away in America at the moment, so she's missed out on this dubious pleasure. And it's a very rare occurrence of having the sound designer in on the. And would it be fair to say you're only here because we're recording it in your house?
Yeah, you would be fair to say that. Yeah.
It's a very low budget film.
It's a rare occurrence to have any sound design.
Culmination of that.
On a commentary.
So here we are. Okay, so Ryan Pope and Richard Glover. Richard Glover lying on the floor. I met Ryan doing a TV show called Ideal, and I met Richard making Sightseers. And generally in this movie, except for Reece Shearsmith, everyone in this film I've worked with before. Here we go, it's Reece. This is it. This film is largely shot in chronological order, and on the first day of shooting we managed to get the effects guy to throw a load of mud in Reece's face, which was an auspicious start.
This is actually strictly the second field in England, if you're going to be pedantic about it.
In terms of locations?
In terms of locations, it's actually shot in 2 different places, so this is the second. All of this behind Julian is a rather fine example of electric theatre's work that saved us shipping in a load of extras.
Yeah, we thought we could get away with it at the time and realised when we looked at it, we felt it felt a little bit thin, so the B unit of just me and Laurie Rose, and actually Martin Pavey went along, didn't you, Martin?
That's right. We went and recorded all the sound in this bit.
Yeah, we went off to a sealed knot meeting and filmed a load of people with pikes, and that's what's in the background there. And thank you very much, Sealed Knot, for that. So Field in England, which was has been long in gestation. It was a project that I've been thinking about for about 20 years, and it come out of trying to make a documentary about battle reenactors, and from that I got involved with the Sealed Knot. But lots of different versions of the script around the years until we finally got to this version, which Amy Jump wrote.
What do you see, friend?
And what happened, Andy? We wanted to do something after Sightseers quite quickly, and we knew that it would have to be quite low budget and shot quite quickly because it would take too long to get the financing together for something more major.
Yeah, that was half the reason, wasn't it, that we could just go out and just and do it and get it done, rather than, I think a lot of filmmaking is the most complicated thing about filmmaking is getting the money to make the film, and you tend to find half your life talking about making the film rather than actually making the film, and this was an opportunity to just go out and do the film we wanted to make fairly quickly without getting bogged down in all the terrible financing scenarios.
So Amy wrote this thing so it could be done for the money rather than writing something massively expensive that then we'd have to do on the cheap. So in a way, Field in England is, there wasn't ever a moment on set where I worried about not having enough resources or not having enough time. It was all designed so that we could shoot it, efficiently and quickly. So Mark, you had a good time with all this, with all the explosions and stuff, didn't you, in the sound design here, particularly this ear-splitting, brain scrambling, whining noise.
The first time we watched this in a cinema where you'd gone slightly crazy.
That's right, I went a bit too far at the beginning. It nearly killed us, didn't it?
We were all deaf.
Nearly deaf with it. Yeah.
It was quite a spectacularly bad screening, that, wasn't it, between this, which almost killed us, and and I'd done my own little grade on the film, which had made it so black that all you could see was their teeth, So that was my very short-lived grading career. I will never grade another film. Peter Ferdinando has just been blown through the hedge there. We met Peter originally. Andy and I met him in Sundance when he was there with his film Tony. Andy's making a face at me now because this is his cameo as a boot. Well done.
I know you could all
Is that your leg?
That was my foot, yeah.
Oh, right.
Very good, yeah.
Yeah.
I made the very bad mistake of telling Ben on the way in one morning that people used to say how much I looked like Julian Barrett.
From the waist down.
And then, which I'm pleased about.
You're a
Yeah,
similar
no offence-
height. He's
no
a very
offence
big
to,
bloke, isn't he? I mean, he's a tall bloke.
No offence to Mr. Fielding, but he's
Yeah.
my favourite member of the Boosh. So,
Yeah.
you know, and then the next thing I know, I'm there in a pair of doubloons, being laughed at by everyone because as everybody knows, I don't do karaoke and I don't do dressing up. But this was as close as I ever got.
So anyway, that was that. That was your little cameo. As you were the amazing jacuzzi man in Kill List.
Repair man in Kill List, which was very scary when I was standing next to an actor starting to act. I thought I'd just have to stand there, but she actually started speaking to me, which was horrific.
Oh no!
So yeah, they've gone back to the body of Richard Glover here, who's collapsed.
It's for the first time.
Yeah. So what was this, day 2, I think? Was this?
Yeah, this is day 2. Yeah.
This is day 2, yeah. Which is the first big bit of dialogue that we've done. And this film, like the other films, the like Down Terrace and Kill List and Sightseers, we'd gone in with the plan of doing some kind of improvisation where we would take the lines and then the actors would do some kind of improv on top of it. But we found this was the first big dialogue scene. We found we couldn't do it at all. It didn't work at all. There's one tiny bit of improvisation in this, which is
just about to come up, isn't it?
Which is about to come up, which Ryan Pope does, and that was the only bit that made it into the whole film. The rest of it is totally on the script.
Spectacularly impressive. The only piece of improvisation involves the word cunt.
As a film shot in chronological order, as we said, there was hell to pay with the weather, basically. So this scene already, it's gone from, this scene in the film is in over like 2 or 3 minutes, and it's already gone from pouring rain to sunshine, backwards and forwards all the time. And, on set, this gave us a lot of worries, but on the when we actually cut it together, it didn't seem to make too much of a difference. I mean, obviously these things are kind of smoothed out in the grade and smoothed out in the sound mix to try and kind of level it all out.
And the black and white helps, doesn't it? Because the first scene, there was horrendous rain, wasn't it, with Julian Barrett? I mean, I think he couldn't quite believe it that we were carrying on shooting through that stuff. Yeah. But you can't really tell, can you? I don't think.
I mean, it's one of the things in low budget filmmaking as well. There's no stopping. It doesn't matter what happens. And we knew that going in. We'd had the similar experience shooting Sightseers where it just, come rain or shine, you keep carrying on and you try and find a way around it. And it was the same for this. So in true style, the first day of shoot was a monsoon for half the day, and then it was bright sunlight for the rest of it, wasn't it? We had fantastic pyrotechnics on this movie as well, which
more pike action from Electric Theatre there, just in the background.
Yeah, it's got a very long CG shot. This, which is it's my favourite kind of CG as well. Is the stuff that you just don't notice unless you're told. It's all this environmental stuff, and then that's all helped again by the Rob Pitsy grade, so bringing up the skies and kind of bringing up the faces and stuff. I felt quite bad about all this stuff with Shearsmith. There's quite a lot of abuse of Shearsmith earlier on, so we've really thrown mud in his face, and then Peter Ferdinando is always quite physical with him, so he's already grabbed him around the throat, and now look at this drop. There's a little look from Reece. Oh, ouch!
It wasn't really that hard.
No, you helped that quite a lot, Martin, didn't you, with a big thumping noise? But
I think it was by day 2 they realised the sheer horror of the low budgetness of this film, didn't they? By the fact that there was.
It was like on a Hollywood movie, they'd have an enormous soft cushion underneath.
The whole field would have been a massive cushion, wouldn't it? But Reece was a fantastic sport about the whole thing. But I think the speed at which we were shooting as well was there's no time to rest or think about what's going on. I mean, it was a 2-week shoot, wasn't it? It's 12 days.
12 days, yeah.
Now this is shot on DOP Laurie Rose's amazing ladder tracking device, which is we went and bought a big old scaffold ladder from B&Q, and then he had a little thing that clipped onto it, and that was our track and dolly for most of the film, except for one day when we had a proper grip turned up, and we did a couple of shots that we couldn't do on the ladder version. But it's
there's lots of lovely CG clean-ups here as well from Chris and Hugh, where I've worked on all the films for us. In the wide shots behind them, you can see lots of things like telegraph poles and houses and they obviously pull all that stuff out for us.
Some of the most unsexy special effects ever done, isn't it? You're not going to get that kind of thing when it reveals all the different layers of the work. Telegraph pole gone. Oh.
You can spend 6 months on leather thongs, and then you come back to removing poles.
Yeah, we must say that Hugh worked on John Carter and did all the thongs on John Carter. So.
Very ably too.
Yeah, very excellently. Yes. So now, the story is starting to kick off now. So they've escaped from the battle, and they're being drawn into the world of Ryan Pope's character Cutler, who's taking them away for his nefarious plan, which is to guide him into to his master O'Neill. And which is it shouldn't have been a shock, but it was that when I looked at the script, realised that Michael Smiley doesn't turn up for about half an hour. And Michael had been the first person really that we'd thought of for this film, and Amy had written the O'Neill character specifically. Smiley, in fact, all the characters were written for the actors, and because there was so much going on at the beginning, we managed to get through a third of the film before he turned up. There's good thinking faces here. Ooh.
I always think it's nice when you watch the film to look at the many faces of Reece Shearsmith. So whenever he takes a layer of clothing off, he becomes more and more rugged.
Does he?
He does. So by the end of the film, he looks like kind of some Django style Clint Eastwood. It's nice to kind of look back at him here and think.
Yeah.
Then you look at him, you compare it to the end of the film. It's really amazing, the transformation.
Come after us.
Yeah, don't trust him. Look at that.
There are only shadows here. Remember.
So now we're going to go to still in the first field, and now to reveal.
It's the patent gong.
And this is the second field. Yes, there's a lot of gong action in this that Martin recorded.
We're not talking flying teapots here, we're talking real gongs.
No, I actually went to a very nice man in Norfolk and bought a gong. And,
this is the thing that gold is made of, this commentary, isn't it? The gong chat.
How many gongs are there in Norfolk?
Oh yeah,
one less.
Few. He's got one less now. Yeah.
This field, if you want details on the field, in-depth details on this field, it's the history of it is that, as far as we understand, it was the car park in Ridley Scott's Robin Hood.
Was indeed, and Jack the Giant Slayer, I believe they used it as a car park.
Yeah, but we used it as our whole location, and it's oddly like a millimetre of dirt, and then underneath it's sand. So the grass doesn't grow very high, and it doesn't get waterlogged in the rain, which was great. When we went to this field for the first time, I was just amazed by it, like the kind of wispiness of the grass. It looked like no other field. I never thought I would get to this point in my life where I was rhapsodised about a field, but I am. And so it was a beautiful field. Now
I think it was a positive advantage the grass didn't grow really, because it was supposed to be a sort of Oni Barber style reed bed, and it ended up being a sort of knee high.
Yeah, there was not much hiding in the grass.
Cornfield, so but in a way that's quite nice.
And one of the big technical challenges, again rather dully, is that
don't tread on the grass.
Don't tread on the grass, yeah, because a film unit is probably about 40 people. The crew for shooting is probably about 20 odd, and they'll ruin a bit of land in about 5 or 6 hours, lift to their own devices and walk all over it and squash it. We found this on sightseers where we just stomped the grass into the ground.
I can ask my cousins about that, who rather foolishly allowed us to shoot at Kill List in their house, and their garden's never quite been the same since.
So we knew we'd learnt this. So going into field in England, we had to kind of plan quite a complicated system of pathways so that this beautiful field wouldn't be smashed in a day and a half. And I think we did all right.
I thought one of the things that was really nice on Kill List when people started mapping where we'd been. And I just wonder when someone's going to start doing this on this field. So if you sort of spot the tree to the far left,
the unique tree, and then plan it out from there. Yeah,
you might find that they start actually wandering around in circles for the last.
What are you talking about? It's an absolute infinite space. It's not a tiny field that we shot in.
I agree.
Now this was something we'd covered off in lots of different angles, and but then when we saw this one take of it, just thought it was the performances are so great that we just ran it in this one take. I really enjoy. One of the things I really like about this is Reece's slightly posh version of his own accent. as the character that he's brought to this. So he's kind of showing off to the
Never looked up.
to Richard's friend character, and Richard is just so spectacularly thick that it's just totally going over his head, the whole thing.
Yeah, one of the other really great things about this, really technically boringly, is it goes on all this time and not one aeroplane goes over.
Oh, Chinooks.
Because it was
Wasn't it?
infested, wasn't it, with
It was,
aeroplanes
yeah.
and helicopters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Rob Entwistle, our sound man, he was going to build a platform to start bringing Chinooks down because
We phoned the local airport, the military airport, and trying to the airbase and say, please stop, because what was happening is the Chinooks were coming in, they could see us filming, and then they were going round us. They seemed to be going down to look at us
Having
and
a
then
look.
flying off. And and it was weird, wasn't it? It's like every 5 minutes something would come in, and they're such big helicopters, it would go whacka 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 whacka. Like on a normal film, a normal film it would have been bad, but in a normal film you can hide like quite a lot of jet noise by just you'd expect it, but in this, obviously a period thing, there's no excuse for that kind of sound unless the world was ending or you're having some kind of psychotic episode, so it was very hard to cover up. So we just had to stop, but also there was a load of main roads nearby that had to all be cleared out of the sound, didn't they? It was quite a rumble of a
Yeah, and also your
A
vision
road.
of the field was a field that was extremely quiet, wasn't
yeah
it? So I was left with virtually nothing to cover
nowhere
up
to
the
hide.
traffic.
Yeah, and you because we spent a lot of the time in the mix taking out all the birds, didn't we? We did a lot of kind of extra rooks and kind of crows in there that we took out. Nice bit of singing there. So that was
first occurrence of the song. That happens many times.
and that was arranged by Jim Williams, who did all the music for all our other films. But it was an old lullaby, isn't it? Scottish lullaby.
There's a very special treat for Jim Williams fans at the end of the film, which we thought we should keep in.
Yeah, well, he did a demo version which he sang in, which he, in the email he sent us saying, "No one must ever hear this, or I will get on to my lawyers." But it was actually really beautiful, him singing, because he doesn't sing usually. And then we twisted his arm to have it in the movie, which is great. Now, this is a thing, I don't see very often in movies, and wish I saw more of, and particularly in episodes of 24 with Keith Sutherland. I always wonder why he never has a shit, seeing as we're with him every minute of the day. We never see him take a dump, but here we have one of our main characters taking his time to have a good old shit,
Like they did in the past.
In the past, you would have had a shit,
In a field.
in a field. Where else? There's no toilets. There's no portaloos or anything. Now Peter is a particularly method actor, so in this he had to.
He didn't actually have one.
No, he didn't, which I thought was very controlled of him. Because in this situation, if I bent down like this, I'd be having a shit. There wouldn't be any two ways around it. But what was method about it was that in the script he has to roll around on a load of stinging nettles. So he said, "Where are the nettles?" So he got him nettles. Then he rolled around on the nettles, and his arse went bright red. And he screamed and screamed and screamed, and it was very, it was super real.
Which in a few minutes' time, if it was in colour, you would have been able to see. But unfortunately,
His arse went just slightly greyer than normal.
Well, that's similar with the episode a little bit later on, isn't it, with the soup?
Yes, there. So, Peter had to eat a load of soup, but there were so many takes went on that they ran out of the real soup and just started boiling up water and putting raw potatoes in it, and he was eating that, and then he ate so much of it he just vomited all over the place, which is, he's a trooper. I love it. Richard's walk here. This is very bouncy. See, if that was me, it'd be out. Absolutely.
So there's stunt nettles at the front there. A lot of those. They
Had to be
actually
brought in.
shipped in some plastic nettles for us to.
No, I
for
think
him
they're
to
real
roll in.
nettles, aren't they, in
No, they're
pots?
real at the front, aren't they? But there are some stunt ones there.
But this is a good bit of Peter saving us here with a bit of improvisation where, so he hits the ground and he's going, oh fucking nettles. And it was only in the edit later I realised that he saved us, because it says in the script that he lands on nettles, but if he'd have just gone on the floor and started rolling around screaming, it'd have just seemed like a madman without us knowing, because you can't, the nettles don't really register there, so that was good. I thanked him for that afterwards.
So this is where you've got to hope there's no mushroom fanciers watching the film.
Oh, because they're not psilocybin mushrooms?
I don't think they're particularly psychedelic. I think they just field mushrooms.
I think they're just Sainsbury's mushrooms.
I think they are. I think those ones, they look pretty scary. The tiny ones.
The tiny ones are just...
The spindly ones. Look
Yeah,
quite
the
plausible.
spindly ones.
Well, I think they're a bit big.
You only
aren't
get
they?
those at Waitrose, the spindly ones.
They're Japanese, aren't they?
Yeah.
Aren't they targets?
That's a nod to the
we apologies
Japanese
about that.
nature of the film.
And general apologies if you're a historian or something and you pick up on something. I wouldn't take to Twitter with the complaints. There's no point. It's not going to get you anywhere. We won't be going back and changing it. We didn't film it in the past. Beautiful costumes by the slightly confusingly named Emma Fryer, which is not the Emma Fryer from Kill List, but in fact the costume designer Emma Fryer.
Caused all manner of complications as I kept emailing Emma Fryer and asking her questions about.
Oh, did you email the actress Emma Fryer?
Undergarments.
Did you? What did she make of that?
I think loads of people have been doing it, so she was quite happy.
Is that why she's got that exclusion zone?
Yeah, she's been kept very busy by this film.
So basically, the costumes in this were a bit of a gift. So we got them from Angels, but they're actually who are a costume hire place, but they're actually the costumes from the Devil's Whore, which is the big Channel 4 production. It was brilliant. So we went there and they've got like 1,500 Civil War costumes.
Nicely worn in for you.
Yeah, exactly. They're perfect. So we just went through that. I don't know what we'd have done otherwise.
This is interesting, this scene, isn't it? Because I was here on the day this was shot, and it absolutely poured down.
This is proper real rain
through the entire thing, and the actors, like troopers, carried on. It was absolutely pouring now. Yeah, you can't really see it, can you?
Well, a little bit. You can see that they're wet, I think. And sometimes you see it as it catches the light, but I think they would have just sat there. I mean, fuck it, what are you going to do? You just we were, in that situation, once you get that wet, there's no point moving away.
What do you think they're eating?
There is nothing like a roaring hunger to slow
what do I think they're eating?
Yeah. I know what I think they're eating.
What?
I'm not going to say because I could be wrong. That's what I think they're eating.
Yeah, they're eating something.
I think they're eating people.
Yeah. Well, it's ambiguous to what it is, but yeah. I mean, it's the same thing that Whitehead eats at the end.
Yeah.
It's the last lot of people that went through.
It's actually provided by the local Sainsbury's.
Yeah, again, helpfully.
Any women at this alehouse?
So this is the kind of the relationship between Whitehead and Jacob, between Reece and the character played by Reece and Peter Ferdinando is kind of antagonistic, but then as the movie goes on, it kind of softens.
Yeah, I think it was entertaining how Peter's kind of always anti-authority, isn't he? And that kind of really comes to play out down the end of the line, whereas Richard's kind of character sits there and just complicitly agrees with everything and everybody all the time. It's quite.
He's like a wise fool, isn't he? All the way through it. I think the friend character. Everyone kind of takes it for granted that he's an idiot, but he's always spot on with what he's saying. Usually.
Yeah, I've got a friend like that as a farmer. He equates life to sheep, and it just makes total sense most of the time.
Right.
It's quite interesting.
Life is fluffy. No. Oh, so this is one of the first of the tableaus, and this is something that had come to Amy when we were doing the research. We were looking at lots of woodcuts, and felt that might be a way of kind of incorporating the 2D-ness of the period's woodcuts into the film somewhere.
I thought that was a brilliant Lon Chaney channeling from Reece there.
Yes.
Phantom of the Opera style, 1921 or whenever it was made, but he knows all the moves from the classic horror.
That's in your garden now, isn't it?
It is. It is in my garden. If anyone wants to come and
Who made that post for you?
The very wonderful Mr. Andy Kelly turned up with that one day.
Who's the art director? Yeah.
Which is the other thing he turned up with, which was very good. It always amused me. Was the tent, which is made by a company called Past Tents.
Really?
Which is almost worth getting a tent for, just for that.
Are they specialise in period tents?
They do.
That's exactly what they do. The other day I went somewhere where they do a lot of reenactments for medieval stuff, and Past Tents were actually based there. So I was quite pleased.
This shot here was done by Nick Gillespie on a rig that he built himself, a special arm thing, and we'd send Nick off into the field with a camera to just go and shoot bits of nature. So a lot of the B-roll stuff in this in the movie is shot by Nick.
So you can see it's got two kind of different textures. I feel like that shot a minute ago of Reece looking out into the distance. It's kind of, we've got the much more soft focus was all shot on a C300.
Yeah, Canon C300, and then this stuff would be shot on a Red Epic.
But I think we initially had talked, haven't we, about whether we would try and balance the two cameras together, but when we watched it actually all just works really nicely. I think the change in feeling is really interesting.
Yeah, and that stuff, we also used a load of Laurie and I had bought a load of lenses off the internet, which were these kind of Chinese plastic lenses, which were really, really cheap, but they turned out to have this really lovely effect, this kind of that felt old and but kind of more importantly kind of handmade, which I felt fitted with the film quite well. So we did a load of tests with them and then decided to use them. But it was a bit of a gamble, wasn't it? We were a bit worried about whether it would actually cut together properly or whether it would break up when you saw it on the cinema screen. But it's turned out really well. I think
the nature of the film, it just works perfectly as well, doesn't it? But this to me, this is one of my favourite shots where he points at his gun.
Yeah,
it's great.
He might as well be pointing at his cock at that point. I quite like that.
Later for the cocks. I think this bit to me is very much like the dumping of the pills in the glass in Down Terrace.
Why it kind of says this film is going to be a bit strange.
It's like you've done. It's like a sort of moment where it all goes strange, and you know something's going to happen at this point, which I think is great.
Yeah, this was slightly worrying. This whole that how to shoot this rope thing, because in the script it all makes perfect sense, but then when you look at it and go, oh my god, what's this going to look like? These guys pulling on a rope that then pulls them into the field. But we had all kinds of kind of elaborate ways of doing it with was it like a slip mat, wasn't it? It's all a big stunt, and it was all getting a bit out of hand. And then we shot the first half of it, which was all this stuff with lots of tracking on Laurie's ladder and stuff. And we were going to shoot the slip mat stuff the next day, and I looked at the rushes overnight and just thought, no, you know what, we don't need it.
That's the great big bass note as they go into the mushroom field.
I think the first massive bass note of the film.
Yeah.
We're still trying to get to the brown note, aren't we? We're chasing that brown note.
We'll find it one day.
Which is the mystical kind of note of sound mixing, which is the one that chimes with your sphincter, isn't it? That makes
resonates with your colon.
That's it, yeah. That makes you shit yourself.
Unfortunately, everybody's colons are slightly different size.
we try with each film to find that brown note, but we'll never. I don't think we'll ever get there. But one of the technical things with the movie is that I would edit it each night back at the hotel, so we'd get all the rushes back, and I'd sit in the hotel room and cut the footage that we shot that day, and then check it over, and we'd all watch it with me, Andy, and then kind of we go, all right, that's okay, and then it allowed us to move on. And even though those cuts that I did in the hotel room never really made it into the film, the confidence that it gave us, because we were moving so quickly and we didn't have any opportunity to reshoot anything, really helped with the making of the movie. So here we are, 28 minutes in, and Michael Smiley's turned up. This is Michael's first day on set, and he turned up the day before, and he was really chomping at the bit to get up and at it. But another thing,
day 4 of shooting, by now.
But another thing about this film is that the script is dense. It's a lot of words to learn, and being someone who can barely remember his own phone number, my admiration to the actor goes out to the actors, because they had basically like a phone directory of very complicated stuff to learn very quickly, and they're all very busy guys, so they're all coming off other jobs. It's not like all they've got all year to do is learn this script. They'll have done the week before they'd have been on another job or something. So
I think the script hits a really fine line between how arcane do you go with the language and how much and how sort of straightforward it is to understand what they're saying. It seems to fit really well to me that it's got a great flow to it, yet it does feel arcane without being complicated.
Yeah, and also it's that I think it's that thing of the way that Amy wrote it, that there was that you can feel that it's conversational but also that the actors then brought their own kind of rhythm to it and brought it alive, and that can't be underestimated, to make that stuff, to make such complicated dialogue feel like it's just they're thinking it up on the spot and not like Cod Shakespeare or something is great.
Back with the gong.
Here he is getting into his clothes. So now the mushroom, they've obviously gobbled back a load of mushrooms that have fed to them by Cutler around the fire, and they're starting to hallucinate slightly.
What is it with you and Hans? News is Cromwell's men march.
And we start to understand a bit more of the plot, which is obviously that Whitehead has been sent to hunt down O'Neill.
Indeed.
It's the first probably the first kind of magical element now, isn't it, with the mirror?
The scrying mirror. And the scrying mirror here is a kind of a flat disc, but it can also be a globe or anything reflective. And I think it was basically down to the magician or whoever would look into the reflective surface and defocus their eyes and see and have visions, as far as I understand it.
You can write in on Twitter if that's wrong.
No, yeah, hashtag Wheatley.
Hashtag
ignorant idiot. Yeah.
Buffoon.
Buffoon. Controversy. But I think also there's this the slight feeling that old O'Neill is using it just to look at his own face and doesn't really understand how to use it either. And
he's just at it, isn't he? Really?
Yeah. So he's he's about as knowledgeable about scrying mirrors as I am.
Bit of lovely cape action there.
Yeah, that was another Emma Fryer triumph as to the cape is full of spells. If you get a freeze frame on it or a glimpse at it, but it's all like handwritten lining which has all kinds of magics written on it, and also the O'Neill character has all sorts
on his hands as
well.
Yeah,
it's all written all over his body.
Very fine makeup by Candy Alderson, who had lots of fun with wigs and lots of fun with writing on Smiley's hands every morning,
and also applying makeup to Peter Ferdinando's arse, if I remember that, which was
all the pleasures of the job. But mainly done on her own, which was a fairly astounding achievement.
Yeah.
It's the framing of the century, this scene.
Well, my thinking here was that it was to suggest a kind of formality that we don't really understand as a viewer, but that there's some kind of arcane thing going on here that is a secret. So it's being done for a reason, but a reason we don't really understand, and it's reflected in the dialogue and reflected in the kind of their slightly stilted kind of attitudes to each other.
It's one of the earlier moments of Peter groping his balls, which happens a lot throughout the rest of the film, which is part of his kind of, he would slowly start to grope his balls as the morning wore on before camera rolled.
It was interesting with this movie was that there was a clash, not a clash, but a kind of a living together of different acting styles, and Peter's was particularly kind of method. So if he was going to be had to be drunk or drugged that day, he would act drugged the whole day long to keep in character. Whereas some of the other performers more kind of could dip in and out of it, and that kind of. But it was very interesting to see how they all interacted with each other around that. If you look into the background here, you see Ryan Pope getting quite enjoying his role as the kind of capturing. Yes, he kicks these guys around quite a lot, and it's something that we didn't really notice on the day because we were really concentrating on the performance of the front of the camera. But when we got in the edit suite, it was really making us chuckle looking at the atrocities that were being committed. Hang on, what's he going to do now? Look at this, pushing him around. He kicks him over in a minute. It's really horrible. He's not done it yet. Something's going on.
This is the plot.
Yeah, pretty much.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Quite a lot of plotting going on here.
And there's a lot of walking and talking in this film. Again, this is Laurie Rose's. I was watching this the other day and I had to text Laurie and say, "Oh, very good operating on this scene." Because it's to be walking and hand holding a camera, walking backwards. It's like it's so steady and so kind of controlled.
This is a great line, isn't it?
Although I confess I have.
There's the sneer, but then it's like with Reece kind of. Oh, I shouldn't have really said that. But in the background, the violence.
Only in my spare time.
The other amazing thing with Laurie is that you don't hear his footsteps, whereas there's obviously
everyone else you can. Can't you?
You can hear the actor's footsteps, but you would think you'd hear a lot of clumping on the grass. There's no way to really mask that. And for me, it's brilliant that it doesn't sound like there are 14 people walking along through the field.
Yeah.
It only sounds like.
Well, on that one, the trick was that we shot right next to the field, but we were actually walking on the path. So it looked like we were in the field, but we weren't.
That's why, then.
Yeah. Because also we knew that there'd be a lot of takes of that backwards and forth, and the grass would just get shagged. So that was.
Lightfoot Rose,
Save
they call
my
him.
bacon.
Yeah.
Always thinking of you, mine.
Thank you very much.
Some lovely music here from Jim.
And how we work with Jim is like he'd compose us kind of temp versions of music or suggestions or sketches, and then he'd supply them as stems, which are basically the bit of music broken down into like 7 or 8 tracks. And then I'd kind of look at those bits, and maybe I'd take the percussive bit of it or a couple of stems of it, and so one bit of music that might be 30 seconds long, we could turn into a minute and a half or something like that, and just start shifting around the stems. And then I'd go back to Jim with that, and then he'd recompose that on top, and then we'd get the final versions. But it's a really nice way of working, because oftentimes there's loads of really beautiful bits of music inside his music that you can't hear because there's so many layers of it. You can just tease it out.
Do not concern yourself with bravery, no, Whitehead. Smartly doing an extremely good evil here.
Yeah, this is still his first day.
Yeah, I think
so. First before. No, actually, when they found him, he was at the end of the day, and then this is his first acting day. And when we saw this, we just knew it was, he'd nailed it straight away. He's so menacing and scary, the whole thing. It was fab. Because it's a big deal for Michael, I think, just psychologically as an actor, because he's coming into it 4 days in, and they're all settled in, they're all in the hotel, and he's turning up the new boy, and it's like, you've got to get, and again, because it's low budget, you've only got one go at it, so you've got to hit the ground running, and he did. This was just incredible this day. I mean, we had all weather on this pretty much.
I think Reece watchers here can see how he's looking slightly more svelte already there, without the cape.
Yeah. Yeah, he dumps bits of clothing along the way, doesn't he, until he's down to his trousers and shirt.
Yeah, I think maybe we should have a DVD extra that just has his.
Well, maybe I'll tell you what we could have is a Reece Shearsmith drinking game where you basically, every time he takes off an element of clothing, you have to drink a bottle of whiskey or something.
Yeah, or we could do one of those books like you get in the Dover bookshop where you just dress up Mr. Shearsmith in Eden period costume.
Wasn't that the shot there as well that had a massive aeroplane in it?
Yeah, there's another Chris and Hugh job.
Chris and Hugh saving us from.
Because there's no trace of it now.
No, it was very nearly an M. Night Shyamalan film.
This made us laugh a lot, didn't it, on the day? And this was oh dear,
straight out the Warner Brothers soundtrack, that one.
Yeah,
clang. But it's something that I think that's something. It was in the script that he hit him, but he didn't say what he'd hit him with.
This is a Nick Gillespie above the Call of Duty moment, being the guy shooting Mr. Smiley spitting into the camera lens.
Yeah, and he got spat all over, didn't he, in that?
It does not surprise me.
I particularly enjoy this bit of knocked out acting from Ferdinando. Look at this. I think I'd be like that if I'd just been hit with a spade. I don't think I'd be getting up.
You wouldn't be getting up, would you? You'd be staying down.
I'd be crying. I'd be crying on the ground a bit longer than that.
So this next shot is the kind of start of, there's a couple of things for me anyway, which is it's the first piece of very up forefronted music from Jim, which kind of has got that definite Ennio Morricone spaghetti western feel for it, which obviously harks to the end of the film when it kind of becomes much more obviously like a western. I think he did an amazing job here, but also there's a rather stunning use of After Effects to make the ladder cam look like a much more expensive piece of kit than it actually is.
Not to point out mistakes, but there's a bit of a bump here, but then it was all smoothed out in post, which is lovely. But I mean, amazing sky.
So there's the tent from Past Tense.
Yeah. And O'Neill's camp, which is all just covered in bones and horror. And
I think the camp's lovely. That's beautifully dressed, isn't it? It's really interesting.
Yeah, the art department, they did an amazing job on here, and there's fundamentally 2 people running the whole of the art department for the shoot, which is incredible.
Jason and Ashley.
Jason and Ashley.
Yes. Well, I saw Jason again on the job the other day. It was good to see.
It's the tent. What goes on in the tent?
Who knows?
My son came on set this day when we were filming this, and he's been on other sets and not been that impressed. He was on Sightseers and he thought it was really boring. But because they're all dressed up in costumes, it was the first time it felt like that we were making films and stuff.
Did Reece actually do this screaming in the tent?
Yes, he did. He did one. Yeah, he did. But the screaming's a tricky thing because you could basically ruin the actor's voice for the whole day if they do it too long. So, and he warned us of this because he's wise to that kind of carry on from directors going, yes, interesting screaming, can you go again and again and again? So we were clever, and we only did like one little round of it, and then we came back and we did in the dubbing session we did another little bit more.
An intro and an outro.
Yeah, we got him to the Rook Sound Studio, didn't we? And did a bit more ADR with Reece.
Is Peter drawing attention to the fact that this is the first film that we've made with no women in it?
It's consequently my wife's favourite line in the film.
Yeah, it's true. This is what men get up to when there are no women there. You know, precisely this: torturing, drinking, and then this. Which, two things going on here. One is Reece Shearsmith's incredible performance, which none of us expected or knew what he was going to do.
That face is incredible, isn't it?
Yeah. And on the day, everyone was really, really shocked when he came out the tent. And then the other thing, obviously, is the Blank Mass music, which we'd put on as a temp in the hotel room that night. I think it was that quick, wasn't it? We got it back, and you said, "I'll put Blank Mass on."
Yeah, we had it. It looked like the sort of thing. It's their music is it's euphoric. I remember reading their bio on their website, and it said they were interested in Carl Sagan and Ennio Morricone, and I thought, God, that's amazing, you know. And it's something cosmic and euphoric and weird. And it was one of those. This was one of those moments, wasn't it, when we knew the temp was never going to get taken off.
And also, it was that thing of on a film that this low budget, you know that you can't use any licensed music, and that's the deal. You know,
that was the rule. You weren't allowed after Sightseers, wasn't it? Where there was so much music in it.
Yeah, which was brilliant. Which is like, being able to use all that music on Sightseers was a complete release. Just even though we didn't use any really super massive tracks, but they're still pretty big tracks in it. But we knew in this it was all going to be Jim, and that was that. And then we got, I don't know, a couple of months into it, and we still had this on, and we couldn't replace it. And Jim had a couple of cracks at trying to replace it. In fact, we used those versions later on in the film, which were good bits of music, but they weren't this, So eventually we wrote to Blank Mass, and I don't know, didn't you throw yourself at their mercy or something, Andy?
I did plead. It was horrible. It was ugly. But no, I mean, it's because Blank Mass, for those of you who don't know, they had. I didn't realise quite at the time, but they had a track in the Olympic opening ceremony with Danny Boyle, which was replayed by the London Philharmonic, I think. So we thought, when we discovered that, we thought, shit, there's no way we're going to get the track. But all power to Declan and Ben, and of course all the people at their record label, for actually saying yes and letting us use the track, which is incredibly nice of them.
But you'd never have known about this track if it wasn't for our dear friend Dan McRae.
That's very true, Ben.
Yeah.
And my dear friend Dan played me this album, and I thought, that's amazing.
It's all down to Dan, this moment.
Most things are down to Dan.
And then the other thing was, we watched it back, and it was kind of uncuttable, wasn't it? We felt it just looked. For me, it just got better and better the longer it went on, that shot. And I was just enjoying Reece's performance, and so it went in its full extent, which is, felt a bit ballsy, but also at the same, I don't know. It just
got an incredible melancholy to the track as well, and I think the longer it goes on, you just get more and more affected by the mood thrown up by what Reece is doing and the track, and it just is incredibly powerful.
And then this bastard turns up to spoil it. Here he is. Mike smiles.
I'm not quite sure Reece knew that this was going to have to happen.
I think it was in the script, wasn't it?
In the script, but I don't know.
It does feel bad. I mean, I do feel bad when you have to put actors through stuff like this. I mean, putting them on reins like this is bad karma all round for everyone, isn't it? But
I think in the script he's supposed to have a bit in his mouth, so I think
that's true. So he's a little bit. Yeah, it was one of those things where I think I wimped out on the day. But it made for an incredibly strange morning, didn't it? This.
It's a lovely shot there, Peter. That shot of him there looking drunk is an amazing shot. It's positively Bergmanian.
Bergmanian. So you said it.
Bergmanian. Bergmania. But it just reminds me of the Seventh Seal. All this sort of stuff. It's lovely.
Does it?
Sorry.
Yeah.
I'll talk about Japanese films in a minute if you want.
Yeah, let's talk about Japanese films, because there was a big Japanese influence on this, wasn't it?
Very much big Japanese influence on it, yeah.
I can't remember what came first though. Was it us going, we want to shoot something in a field, and you said that sounds like Onibaba? I think
Yeah,
it was.
no, it was. To be, it was you. You definitely had the idea for the field, and I was trying to think of films that were set in fields, and I thought that baseball one with Mel Gibson would be rubbish to rip off.
No, that's The Field of Dreams. That's
Yeah. That's Costner, isn't it?
it's Costner.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I thought
This
no
is
one-
kind of like a reimagining of the Field of Dreams.
You know, instead of baseball, you've got a kind of thing in a hole.
Dig it and they will come. I don't
What
know.
about the M. Night Shyamalan thing where they get all the aliens in the reef bed?
The Village.
No, not the village, the other one. I actually think this might be like just a combination of M. Night Shyamalan films.
No, but they are in the past. This isn't. They're not battle reenactment people.
Aren't they?
No. I've got a wonderful sicking noises there from you, Martin.
Yeah, special with extra rocks.
Yeah, it's the rocks passing the teeth, which is particularly grueling. So how did you do that? Did
One
you
of those is yours, isn't
did you sick it up?
No, it's actually a library sound effect of like teeth.
Ugh, teeth doing what?
I don't know, chewing rocks. I suppose that's what it sounds like.
Teeth sounds horrible.
No, I
think
didn't do it myself. I wouldn't have liked the idea of doing it myself.
that was
It'd
the
be quite
most
unpleasant.
horrible bit in that in the ABCs of Death short. The scraping teeth is.
What was that? Because when
That's
I
actually the same sound effect.
oh, is it? Because when I did the sound for that the first pass at it, I used ground glass as the noise of the teeth being pulled out. Or did you use something different? Didn't you? What was it?
I can't remember. I think it was pulling a screw out of something.
There's a little bit with these stones where further down the line you'll notice that O'Neill swallows one of the stones, which again is another piece where we decided that he needed to be swallowing a black stone rather than a white stone to hark back to this scene.
Yeah, Hugh to the rescue on that one, wasn't it?
Please. I beg. Do not be ridiculous, Whitehead.
Another mention of doily here, which is rather nice.
It's a place to make a hole. Nothing more. So maybe you should fashion it. One of your pretty lace doilies.
So did you have to do much Foley on this then, Mark?
Yeah, there's more Foley on this film than any of your films so far. I mean, this is the most. In fact, sound-wise, it's the most intense film of all of them.
But the most pleasurable to do, obviously.
Yeah, the most pleasurable to do. Yeah, I mean,
The most work. And why is that? Do you think because you have to, because you can't use any modern sound and they have to be pulled back to and recreate it?
Yeah, I think there's just nothing to cover up. You know, usually you can blanket things out with a kind of wash of sound, but because there's nothing there and you wanted the field to be very quiet, you can't cover up. You don't get any traffic atmos. There's nothing you can use to kind of.
You can't really even imagine what the past would have sounded like without all the sound around us, isn't it?
No.
I mean,
It's incredibly noisy in modern times. It's unbelievably noisy everywhere you go.
You'd have to go into the middle of the desert or something. I mean, certainly in England, there's nowhere to hide, is there?
This was a classic situation, wasn't it, of going to the field as I used to be.
But you did it.
I did it,
Yeah.
and it worked, I think.
Yeah. Quite a lot of moaning, but you did it. Got it done.
I think it was a very tiny amount of money, considering how much effort. If there's any of you actually listening to this that I haven't told how much effort it was,
This is an opportunity now
I'll
to
willingly
tell
meet you for a pint and
the 12s of people that will
explain.
listen to this commentary to this point.
There's Ryan finding death in the hole. Some lovely mushroom action.
Another
here.
heroic moment from Reece gobbling back a mouthful after mouthful of mushrooms.
It's the close-up mushroom day that we did.
Buggiest eyes ever. Reece has got a face. I mean, I knew this from seeing League of Gentlemen. That when I first saw it when it was on TV, I was really surprised that he played loads of different characters because his face changes so much all the time from character to character. And in this movie, his face changes like every half hour. It's completely different as far as I can see. So
We haven't had an update actually in Reece clothing removal, have we, for a while?
Oh, he's down to his shirt now.
now. You may have noticed, and it's all starting to happen.
This is where the
So
madness begins.
Any second now, the first flash frame of many thousands. So epileptics, look away now.
yeah,
That's my favourite sound in the film. There.
is it? Why?
Yeah. It just sounds beautiful in a big cinema. Just so fat and.
So here's the swirling grass from
Onibaba.
your favourite Japanese horror film.
Yeah, not quite as tall as the reeds in Onibaba, but you know,
That's what makes it a homage.
not a rip-off.
Yeah.
It's a fine line. This was great. The wind machine was just a massive propeller off a light aircraft, wasn't it? And I don't know. I'd never stood in front of it. Did you ever go on it? Everyone else seemed to be.
Did you ever go?
Yeah, well, they were rolling around, being blown about.
Fun fair. No, we all stood a very safe distance behind it, Ben, and waited for the professionals.
All
to
right,
do it.
all right.
That's my favourite sound in the film. It's kind of, I love it. It's just that fine line between music and sound design, isn't it? And I think this is great. This track, I really like this. Yeah, Metallic Fields 1. This has been.
So this is what Zoe Flowers, who does the PR for us, said was described as Michael Smiley as a giant moth, and I think that's lovely. So I worked on this stuff for a long time, and you know, we had a 20-minute sequence that was like this, with lots of frame cut bits and bobs.
It's really nice to be able to put something in that's like experimental movies, isn't it, from the 60s? I'd always had this feeling that, you know, this was a film that you could release on Flipside in 20 years' time.
But it's a bit like Towers Open Fire or any of those like Tony Bausch things, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I did a film called Rememorex when I was at college, which was like this, which was feeding back in the day with two low-band pneumatic decks and then a mixing thing, and just mixing very fast between them, and then taking that tape and loading it back in and getting the cuts faster and faster until they were faster than frame cuts, because they were like half frames and quarter frames all dissolving in and out. And I'd never really been able to do that again once digital came in. There's something about analog that allows you to do that kind of stuff, and more kind of
I always think this is something like, you know, when everyone says you see those Rorschach tests, everyone says it reminds them of sex. This kind of reminds me of sex slightly.
Oh, that's worrying.
I think that's just me.
Take cover.
Not of sex per
You
se,
always get an ear bleed.
Something slightly sexual about some of it.
Well, it's because he's connected by his tail there.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
See that bit in particular?
That's the rope.
Definitely has a physical effect on you, this section, doesn't it? I mean, you feel quite strange after you watch it.
Yeah. I was kind of thought, you know, it's interesting, isn't it? I think it just goes far enough.
Yeah.
We tested it out, didn't we, in the cinema, because we were worried it was going to be too intense or make you feel sick or something. I mean, I think it is a fine line.
It's like a Stuart Gordon film, this bit, isn't it?
And there he goes, disappearing into his own head. Well, that's a bit kill listy, isn't it? That rush and then
I like the pop.
yeah, that was one of Amy's.
That's a lovely shot of Peter, isn't it? Blowing in the wind.
Yeah, he's resolutely not taking any notice of the wind on that day.
It was all shot over one day, the wind, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's quite a big production day, that, wasn't it? We were all really
It was.
worried.
We got the making of people in that day just because it looked like we were actually doing something. Rather than...
And then it took them about 3 hours to make the wind machine work. It was all a bit of a cocker. This was good. This was a one-take deal, wasn't it? Whether or not, because basically the tent's packed full of prop pages and stuff. So when it goes off, it's an absolute bastard to get it back together. Well, it couldn't be put back together, so it really had to work the first time. And it kind of does. It was one of those things you just watched it and went, oh, that's really lovely.
Angelic. No.
Yeah, well, that's what it had to be, isn't it? And it worked.
There was lots of talk, wasn't there, initially of using CG to manipulate it into something more of a creature, but it just never seemed to need it.
No.
I think it.
That was one of those kind of cutaways that took about 100 takes to get right. Now this was a bit of a sod. So basically we had to. The wind machine makes so much noise that you can't record the dialogue at the same time. So it was always meant to be in this kind of strange whispery voice. So we knew we were going to have to come back and dub it. So in the edit, it was just a nightmare because there was no guide sound. So I had to kind of work it out syllable by syllable, and I recorded my own version of it, and then I fit the syllables to the mouth movements or the phonemes of the mouth. Just took ages and ages and ages. But when we got the guys in to do the voiceover, it was pretty painless in the end.
Yeah, it was quite easy because they could remember what they actually said, couldn't they?
Well, they could see it because they had my voice all over,
Yeah.
didn't it? So.
But there were some bits where it turned out that Ryan, for instance, was saying something different.
Yeah, I got it wrong. Yeah. So then we had to go back and recut the film slightly to make that work.
Yeah, that's right.
But apart from that, it was seamless. But we just didn't know what they were saying. That was the other thing. I couldn't tell that they'd said the right dialogue or anything. We just had to kind of take it on trust. But obviously they've been doing it right for the rest of the movie, so why wouldn't they do it right here?
I think that was a bridge too far for Rob and Ash on the sound, wasn't it? They sat back and watched.
I think they had half a day off that day, didn't they? Because with the wind machine, they just sat up. I remember seeing them just sitting on their little chairs.
There is no boom that will compensate for a massive aeroplane propeller.
No.
Technology or not.
There's another hidden CG shot of painting out something in the background. Big tent shot there, which was good. So this is an effects shot, SFX from Dan Martin, the prosthetic exploding head. Dan did a load of work on sightseers as well, particularly the triumphant crushed Tony Way arm in the first caravan killing, and the smashed in Rambler's head. He also supplied us with all our cocks on this film.
He did. Didn't he say that when they buried in his garden?
Oh, some horrible tale.
He's got a garden of cocks, hasn't he, Dan? So if you want
allegedly he has.
It was some unpleasant. I mean, I think it was possibly worse than having stuff buried under your patio, but it was something unpleasant in his garden that he found them.
No, yeah, I don't know. For some job, he'd had to make a load of. Was it for an album cover or something? I don't know. I didn't want too much of that anecdote to come through from him. So the Great Wind has now stopped.
Sucked back into Mr. Shearsmith.
Yeah, and Ryan Pope gets to go home. That's the end of him. Which was a bit sad, wasn't it? We kind of he hung around for a day or so, didn't he? One day afterwards.
Yeah, it was just one day that Ryan wasn't on the shoot, wasn't it? You've got to get your hat back in place before you start. So
these muskets are tricky beasts. So sometimes they fire, sometimes they don't. It's all a bit hairy. There's lots of safety stuff involved with them. They spit out a lot of sparks and stuff, and they're quite dangerous. But and there was a lot of firing of muskets in this film, and for such a low budget movie, it was, there's quite a lot of complicated technical stuff like that. But it all seemed to go all right, I think.
And hopefully a couple of the stills will actually make it through that show you that they are real and they do actually fire, because you get amazing smoke and flares off them, which you just wouldn't get, obviously.
No, you can't do that as a CG thing.
And I think Martin came down to do a bit of musket recording.
I did, because there are hardly any library recordings of muskets in existence. So I took the opportunity, and actually at the end of the day, the only time I could get the guy from Bapty was at lunchtime, and I could only get it for about 20 minutes or something. So I think I recorded 4 shots in the end, and they're all in the film.
What's that whizzy noise that you're using it, which is is that a spinny coin thing?
Yeah, I recorded that out in my garden. It's a slingshot with a washer, and I found that the big washers with the holes in the centre are the best. And if you fire those along past the microphone, you get this amazing bullet travelling ricochet sound.
Yeah.
Downloadable for 99 pence a time at marksounds.com.
Don't miss it. Now on special offer.
Yeah.
3 for the price of 2. A musket and a whizzy washer.
I can sell you a washer.
So this is now into the cowboy mode version of the movie. You can tell that because they've
hidden behind a bench.
Yeah. And this is kind of complicated, wasn't it? We kind of planned out at the beginning of the day. We had to plan out the geography of where everybody was. It doesn't look that complicated now you see it on screen, but it was a bit of a mind scrambler on the day. Most
of these geographical mind scrambles are actually helped by our rather fine first AD, James Sharp, who's always there to sort out this kind of nonsense, isn't he? Make sure that all stuff goes to plan. Yeah. As the rest of us run around like headless chickens, and he very calmly tells us. And Carol and Anita, obviously, the continuity. Yeah, Carol and Anita do continuity again. Which continuity sounds like checking to make sure the people aren't wearing the right hats from shot to shot. But what continuity really is that they're making sure everyone's looking in the right direction. That's the most important part. In a film like this, if you lose your hat, it's very difficult to tell who's who.
I love this bit here where Smiley looks around. It's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, looking like he should be the next Doctor Who.
That's one of the rare occurrences of a speed up in the film.
Yeah, this is a second unit shot as well, isn't it? That was the day you were shooting a couple of bits, Andy.
Well, I just stood behind Nick as he did it, really. But...
So this is our shootout, you know, and that was... I've never done a shootout before, and I was quite excited about it.
We got the CG guys to actually do some bullet traces, which is rather good. Which just catch your eye, really nice. And
Another bit of Dan Martin action, the split leg.
The combination of Dan on the leg and Martin on the sound is extremely unpleasant.
Squelching.
Now, a few things I wanted to tick off my list of filmmaking firsts. I've never done a car roll. I hope to do one day. But this moment coming up was something that pleased me a lot, which is the sound of a gun going off and then a bit of dust blowing up into the air, which I've never got to do before. Oh, I've gone too early on that, haven't I? Where is it? Come on. Oh, it's ages away. There we go. Boom.
So friend is back.
Yes, the magic of the field has returned to him, which suggests that the field is not in real space and time.
Is that to say we're still friends? No, we're not.
It's Michael Smiley shooting exactly at the same pace each time, but ignore that.
He can really reload that musket fast, can't he?
He's got two, to be fair, so yeah. I mean, I think it's meant to be 30 seconds between the reload, but he's got two, so, you know. This is the moment they realise what the real treasure in the field is, which is friendship. It's the end of the wonder years. What have we learnt this week? Friendship. It's quite a bit of Ferdinando death acting here. He had a big bag of ice under his spine, didn't he, for this? So this was a sequence that was troubled by weather change, and we ended up having to reshoot bits of it because we weren't sure that it would match. But in the end, it didn't really matter. We ended up using shots from the reshoot and the original shoot, and they all matched together. So, but you never know when you're on set or on location, and it's always better to be overcautious about these things than to be laissez-faire.
I don't know if anyone's done a technical paper about the how obvious it is to spot rain on a camera, because it's kind of fascinating when you see it. That earlier on, the scene when they're eating all the food, which was absolutely biblical rain, you can just about see it. Whereas here it was raining and you kind of don't see it.
Yeah, you see it on and off, don't you?
Yeah.
But then that was a decision we had to make, Mark, wasn't it? With where to put the rain noises in. You know, we kind of had a bed of like thunder building up these things, where there'd be rain and then thunder away when it wasn't.
It plausible,
yeah.
There he goes, shooting thistles.
Very good death face there.
This Smiley's rendition of Baloo.
Can't remember it, but he's about to kill the man
with his Smiley bazooka.
This is quite
one of the most massive gunshots in the film.
But in reality, if you fired that musket, you just go deaf anyway, so it would even be even louder, wouldn't it? If you're that close to it.
Really loud.
Yeah. Yeah. Ah, he's dead again. Or is he?
The coward is here.
There's no indecision here, is there, from Whitehead?
Straight in.
The classic Dan Martin there.
Yeah. Well, no messing about,
you know. Reece there, I think. This is again phase 5, I think, probably of
the Reece look.
The Reece look. So next time we see him is a fairly amazing transformation. There you go. Looks like a Jodorowsky movie.
Yeah. What's going on there? How's he done that to himself, to transform himself into that? I don't think we even noticed on the day, did we? And then we get it back into the edit suite that night and it's going, what? So yeah, this is the last day and it just incredible, glorious weather. And as usual, we've had every kind of weather that England would have, you know, except for maybe snow. We didn't have snow. But I really enjoyed being out in the weather for 2 weeks. Like about about 4 or 5 days into it, I was like, this is really pleasant and not something I'd get to experience normally. I'm a kind of computer using, indoor dwelling kind of a creature, and it's nice to be out.
In a way, after Sightseers as well, it was that incredible thing of actually being in the same place. I mean, that makes such a huge difference, obviously, that you at least you turn up, everything's in the same place.
But also, I'd got my weather gearing sorted out from Sightseeing, so I knew that I had an impermeable kind of jacket and trousers, so I was never going to get wet.
I think that's a look that Reece could perhaps take up in real life.
Well, the big hat look.
And the hair.
Yeah.
Another fantastic piece of music from Jim here. The fuzz bass
version
coming in, version of The Walk is superb. I say it's just got that amazing kind of hints of Morricone and stuff, but
we're back in the first field now, aren't we?
Yeah, we went back, didn't we, just for the last
and this little bit of, we were there for like 3-4 shots, and we're hindered by a massive balloon full of journalists taking photos of Thor 2. We're shooting like 4 fields up from us.
Thought they'd come to see us, but no.
No, and they literally managed to float their massive bastard balloon right into our shot. So, yeah.
It's a real filmmaking mecca, that sort of area.
Bizarre, isn't it?
There's been hundreds of films made there.
I think they thought they were going to land in Thor 2's car park and didn't realise we were actually there shooting.
Yeah, proper chronological order this, because, it would suggest that sensible kind of planning would have meant we'd shoot this stuff when we shot the other stuff at the hedge at the beginning of the shoot. But we came back to it and the weather was completely different, and it was a really good decision to come back.
But there's no way the makeup for him to look like that.
No, it would have really constricted the whole movie, and he wouldn't have, to get him into that position. Though all this stuff is from the original. No, that was shot that day, wasn't it? And then we used it at the beginning of the movie as well. Yeah. This is another send off Nick Gillespie into the hedge mission.
More ladder cam.
Yeah, was it 60 quid or something, that thing that Laurie bought?
Yeah, it's
pretty amazing. Look at this look, fantastic. He's going, what's that? Is that the end of the film? What happens? Oh. Are these different parts of my soul? Yes. So
there you go.
That's the end of Field in England. Ah, yes, and now we have the wonderful Jim Williams singing us out.
So here it is. He told us to not let anyone ever hear this. So for your delight and delectation,
you put it straight on the film.
We give you Jim Williams.
Yeah. In at number 10, Jim Williams, Field in England. You're supposed to say something nice about each of the people as quickly as you can as they come up. Oh, they're the actors. They were good. That worked well. Thank you, actors. Jones, who's not here, sadly, in LA at the moment. Anna Higgs from Film 4, that gave us all the money. Rose, have we mentioned him?
Did we mention Laurie?
No. Andy Kelly, production designer, who designed it all.
You are just reading off.
I am now, aren't I? I edited the film with my wife. Much shouting. Pavey.
Martin. He did a great thing with some reverb on the.
What was it? An echo, and he shot a washer up his garden or something.
Nobody understands.
Yeah, and then you can.
Somebody will.
Yeah. Just notes on the back of a postcard.
Yeah.
Bobby Entwistle.
Yeah. Emma Fryer, not Emma Fryer from Kill List.
No. See, all these people we've mentioned.
Well, yeah, we did well on this. So yeah. So this has been the commentary for Field in England. Educating you on many interesting facts about sand and fields and washers. Sorry about that. Possibly not illuminating you at all about any of the motivations of the characters in the film.
So we're coming to an end now, and I don't suppose anyone's going to actually listen to this bit, so I can be vaguely sentimental. But I think these things are made incredibly low budgets, and it's testament to the cast and crew. They actually stick with us to make this stuff, because it ain't possible unless everyone goes the extra mile, and everybody always does. And so thank you. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, I hardly agree with that. And we've been really lucky to make 4 films in the last 5 years, isn't it? And each of them has been a pleasure to work on. And long may it rain.
It's very nice. We seem to have found the only group of people on the planet that are prepared to keep going for very little money, other than entirely for the sheer pleasure of the world of cinema.
Thank you very much for listening to our rather rambling and long commentary, and hopefully we'll make another film in the next year or so, and you can watch that too. Cheers!
Dan on the leg and Martin on the sound is extremely unpleasant.
Squelching.
Now, a few things I wanted to tick off my list of filmmaking firsts. I've never done a car roll. I hope to do one day. But this moment coming up was something that pleased me a lot, which is the sound of a gun going off and then a bit of dust blowing up into the air, which I've never got to do before. Oh, I've gone too early on that, haven't I? Where is it? Come on. Oh, it's ages away. There we go. Boom.
So friend is back.
Yes, the magic of the field has returned him, which suggests that the field is not in real space and time.
Is that to say we're still friends?
No, we're not.
It's Michael Smiley shooting exactly the same pace each time, but ignore that.
He can really reload that musket fast, can't he?
He's got 2, to be fair, so yeah. I mean, I think it's meant to be 30 seconds between the reload, but he's got 2, so, this is the moment they realise what the real treasure in the field is, which is friendship. It's the end of the wonder years. What have we learnt this week? Friendship. It's a great bit of Ferdinando death acting here. He had a big bag of ice under his spine, didn't he, for this? So this was a sequence that was troubled by weather change, and we ended up having to reshoot bits of it because we weren't sure that it would match. But in the end, it didn't really matter. We ended up using shots from the reshoot and the original shoot, and they all matched together. So, but you never know when you're on set or on location, and it's always better to be overcautious about these things than to be laissez-faire.
I don't know if anyone's done a technical paper about the how obvious it is to spot rain on a camera, because it's kind of fascinating when you see it. That earlier on, the scene when they're eating all the food, which was absolutely biblical rain, you can just about see it. Whereas here it was raining and you kind of don't see it.
Yeah, you see it on and off, don't you?
Yeah.
But then that was a decision we had to make, Mark, wasn't it? With where to put the rain noises in. We kind of had a bed of like thunder building up these things where there'd be rain and then thunder away when it wasn't
plausible.
Yeah.
There he goes, shooting
He's dead.
thistles.
Very good death face there.
This Smiley's rendition of Baloo.
Can't remember it, but he's about to kill the man
With his Smiley bazooka.
This is quite
one of the most massive gunshots in the film.
But in reality, if you fired that musket, you just go deaf anyway, so it would even be even louder, wouldn't it? If you're that close to
really
it.
loud.
Yeah. Yeah. He's dead again. Or is he?
cowardice here.
There's no indecision here, is there, from Whitehead?
Straight in.
The classic Dan Martin there.
Yeah. Well,
That's
no
a great
messing
look
about,
from
you know.
Reece there, I think. This
Yeah.
is, again, phase 5, I think, probably of
The Reece look,
The
yeah.
Reece look. So next time we see him is a fairly amazing transformation. There you go. Looks like a Jodorowsky movie.
Yeah. What's going on there? How's he done that to himself, to transform himself into that? I don't think we even noticed on the day, did we? And then we get it back into the edit suite that night and it's going, what? So yeah, this is the last day and it just incredible, glorious weather. And as usual, we've had every kind of weather that England would have, you know, except for maybe snow. We didn't have snow. But I really enjoyed being out in the weather for 2 weeks. Like about 4 or 5 days into it, I was like, this is really pleasant and not something I'd get to experience normally. I'm a kind of computer using, indoor dwelling kind of a creature, and it's nice to be out.
In a way, after sightseers as well, it was that incredible thing of actually being in the same place. I mean, that makes such a huge difference, obviously, that at least you turn up, everything's in the same place.
But also, I'd got my weather gearing sorted out from sightseeing, so I knew that I had an impermeable kind of jacket and trousers, so I was never going to get wet.
I think that's a look that Reece could perhaps take up in real life.
With the big hat look.
And the hair.
Yeah.
Another fantastic piece of music from Jim here. The fuzz bass
version
coming in, version of The Walk is superb. I say it's just got that amazing kind of hints of Morricone and stuff, but
we're back in the first field now, aren't we?
yeah, we went back though, didn't we, just for the last
And this this little bit of, we were there for like 3-4 shots, and we're hindered by a massive balloon full of journalists taking photos of Thor 2. We're shooting like 4 fields up from us.
Thought they'd come to see us, but no.
No, and they literally managed to float their massive bastard balloon right into our shot. So yeah,
it's a real filmmaking mecca, that sort of area.
Bizarre, isn't it?
There's been hundreds of films made.
I think they thought they were going to land in Thor 2's car park and didn't realise we were actually there shooting.
Yeah, proper chronological order this, because it would suggest that sensible kind of planning would have meant we'd shoot this stuff when we shot the other stuff at the hedge at the beginning of the shoot, but we came back to it and the weather was completely different, and it was a really good decision to come back.
But there's no way the makeup for him to look like that.
No, it would have really constricted the whole movie, and he wouldn't have, to get him into that position. So all this stuff is from the. No, that was shot that day, wasn't it? And then we used it at the beginning of the movie as well. Yeah. This is another send off Nick Gillespie into the hedge mission.
More ladder cam.
Yeah, was it 60 quid or something, that thing that Laurie bought?
Yeah, it's
pretty
amazing.
Look at this look, fantastic. He's going, what's that? Is that the end of the film? What happens? Oh. Are these different parts of my soul? Yes. So
There you go.
That's the end of Field in England. Ah, yes, and now we have the wonderful Jim Williams singing us out.
So here it is. He told us to not let anyone ever hear this. So for your delight and delectation,
You put it straight on the film.
we give you Jim Williams.
Yeah. In at number 10, Jim Williams, Field in England. You're supposed to say something nice about each of the people as quickly as you can as they come up. Oh, they're the actors, they were good. That worked well. Thank you, actors. Jones, who's not here, sadly, in LA at the moment. Anna Higgs from Film 4 that gave us all the money. Rose, have we mentioned him?
Did we mention Laurie?
No. Andy Kelly, production designer, who designed it all.
You are just reading off.
I am now, aren't I? I edited the film with my wife. Much shouting. Pavey.
Martin. He did a great thing with some reverb on the.
What was it? An echo, and he shot a washer up his garden or
That
something.
nobody understands.
Yeah, and then you can.
Somebody will.
Yeah. Just notes on the back of a postcard.
Yeah.
Bobby Entwistle.
Yeah. Emma Fryer, not Emma Fryer from Kildist.
No. See, all these people we've mentioned.
Well, yeah, we did well on this. So yeah. So this has been the commentary for Field in England. Educating you on many interesting facts about sand and fields and washers. Sorry about that. Possibly not illuminating you at all about any of the motivations of the characters in the film.
So we're coming to an end now, and I don't suppose anyone's going to actually listen to this bit, so I can be vaguely sentimental. But I think these things are made for incredible low budgets, and it's testament to the cast and crew. They actually stick with us to make this stuff, because it ain't possible unless everyone goes the extra mile, and everybody always does. And so thank you. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh, I heartily agree with that. And we've been really lucky to make 4 films in the last 5 years, isn't it? And each of them has been a pleasure to work on. And long may it rain.
It's very nice. We seem to have found the only group of people on the planet that are prepared to keep going for very little money, other than entirely for the sheer pleasure of the world of cinema.
Thank you very much for listening to our rather rambling and long commentary, and hopefully we'll make another film in the next year or so, and you can watch that too. Cheers!